The Democratic National Convention is officially underway today, but what will the left do if President Trump refuses to accept the election results in November? Hear how congressional Democrats are all planning to wear the same color to work one day if Trump refuses to leave office. And later, the Democratic Convention isn't the only thing going virtual this year. Hear how the Bush administration was able to delight their fans by reuniting on Zoom for a reading of the National Intelligence Brief used to justify the war in Iraq. From The Onion and Onion Public Radio, I'm Leslie Price, and this is The Topical. We're about to forcibly transport you to the wonderful world of politics, where they're always up to something. Find out what it is this time, right after this. President Trump is once again threatening to delay the election today. Trump has publicly questioned voting methods, especially mail-in ballots, which could see record use during the coronavirus pandemic, and his posturing has caused concern that if he loses the election, he may go so far as to dismiss the results altogether and refuse to step down. For more, we're joined by OPR super senior political correspondent Dirk Mullins.
Hi, Leslie. Great to be here.
All right, settle down. So, Dirk, it sounds like the 2020 presidential election could be in for some problems.
That's right, Leslie. But the left says they have a plan. Earlier today, congressional Democrats threatened that if Trump loses the election and refuses to leave office, they'll have no choice but to all wear the same color.
Wow, that is certainly a big step for the Democrats.
Well, so far it's only a threat, but as California Representative Simon Mills explained to me this morning, it's one that his party is prepared to follow through on.
President Trump is a grave threat to our democracy. If he thinks he can lose the election in November and then stay in office anyway, the Democrats will be his worst nightmare. We'll wear clothing of a similar hue from head to toe for as long as it takes till he steps down.
Quite a forceful aesthetic showing. And have the Democrats agreed on the color they're going to wear?
Actually, Leslie, that's still a matter of fierce debate. While many Democrats favor black to symbolize the death of democracy, others want to wear white for peace or blue because the moderate Blue Dog Democrats think it looks nice on everyone. For his part, Representative Mills is part of a caucus arguing for yellow.
We want everyone to wear yellow because it's a color of optimism. And also, DNC Chairman Tom Perez thinks it will send a strong message to Republicans by photographing well. When Trump sees us all sitting in Congress wearing our yellow clothes, he'll have no choice but to honor the peaceful transfer of power.
Some political experts predict your party could win control of the Senate as well as maintaining control of the House. Will that affect your strategy at all?
It certainly will, Dirk. If we have the Senate and the House, that will give us even more power to all wear the same pin. We'll have a pin-wearing majority in both houses.
Wow. But of course, Washington can be a place of a lot of talk and no action. Are the Democrats really prepared to go as far as pin-wearing?
It sounds like it, Leslie. Here's Simon again.
The Democrats have a message for President Trump. Dirk, can you give this message to President Trump?
What, can't you?
Mr. President, if you try to stay in the White House after losing the election, we will hold you accountable with powerful hashtags and strongly worded subtweets, making your refusing to leave a major wedge issue in the 2022 midterms. We'll keep it up for your entire second term if we have to.
Wow, that will surely make for a confrontational press conference.
Oh, God, do you think we'll have to do press conferences? I don't know. Don't you think that might be viewed as too combative?
Well, it's either that or trying to win over the army.
Oh, do you know what we could also do? We could not do anything at all. We won't do or say anything. We'll call it democracy blackout. That sounds pretty powerful, huh? Imagine how fast Trump will step down once he sees we're not doing anything at all. That's a fantastic idea. Can we end the interview? I have to tell Nancy.
Mills added that the Democrats also vowed to impeach Trump again with the exact same case and evidence they used last time, just to see if it works.
I've always been a fan of those knitted pink pussy hats myself. They always seem to get the job done. Anyway, thanks for the report, Dirk. That's OPR's Dirk Mullins. Back in a moment. Even prior to the coronavirus pandemic, the American people were plagued with an unsteady job market, increasingly unaffordable housing, and a stagnant minimum wage. In the aftermath of COVID-19's effects on the U.S. economy, these long-standing issues have only intensified. We're joined today by OPR's unceasing debt reporter, Charles Dearborn, to discuss a new study out of Boston University that shows the widening gap between the nation's rich pets and poor people.
Thanks for having me, Leslie.
Charles, we've long known that it's easier to be a charmingly named pet pet of a rich person than to be an impoverished human, but it sounds like the situation is worsening.
The gap grows exponentially wider every day, Leslie. On the whole, animals from rich families have better access to food, more resources, and live in wealthier communities than 92% of American families. Here's one of the authors of the study, Danica Edgars.
In the late 1950s, in any American city, the son of a purebred Weimaraner and the son of a postal worker were projected to gross the same amount over the course of their lifetimes. Unfortunately, those days are over. With the minimum wage stuck in a rut and a number of workers reliant on the gig economy, the average working-class American might have to take on up to 3 jobs, while the pet of a rich family doesn't work any. It's never been more difficult to break out of a cycle of poverty, let alone own property that comes close to Justin Timberlake's doghouse.
Well, Tina's a good girl. She deserves that house.
Oh, without question. And this isn't to say that rich pets don't have their share of problems. They're more likely to overdose on 67% cacao dark chocolate or tumble into a backyard pool.
Yeah.
The focus of the study wasn't to downplay issues in the pet community, but to shed light on the fact that many of these pets work less than an hour a day as Instagram influencers and still pull in more money than 2-income working-class homes.
I'm curious, did researchers interview any pets for this story?
Well, they tried, but no one likes to talk about money. I mean, how much do you spend per month on your French bulldog?
Yeah, I don't think Jean-Claude would feel comfortable with me answering that question. Let's get back to the study. What's the federal government's role in all this? Is there anything that can be done on a legislative level to shrink the gap?
Well, these pets are notoriously well connected. If you spend any time in Washington, you're going to see wealthy furballs toted around Capitol Hill in bags specifically designed for their size. Members of Congress consider them family and spend countless hours tending to their needs and not the American people's. Plus, it's an open secret that these pets have gotten away with not paying taxes for decades.
No wonder your average American can't seem to get ahead.
It goes deeper than money, too. Rich pets simply enjoy a better quality of life. Take a listen.
Impoverished Americans, forced to look for cheaper housing that may not be within a 5-mile range of a grocery store, are more likely to rely on fast food, whereas the average rich pet lives within a 0.4-mile radius of a specialty dog treat bakery, or barkery, as they're known. Not to mention, you're not going to find anything as protein or fiber-dense at McDonald's as you would a healthy milk bone or grain-free chicken entree suspended in gravy.
What a shame. It just goes to show you all the progress that still needs to be made, just so long as it doesn't cost me or my pets a dime. Thank you for the report, Charles. Oh, and I'll see you soon.
Yes, 12:30 at Spezza?
I'm kind of sick of foie gras. I wonder if we can find a place with good quail.
Oh, yeah, that does sound good.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. This is OPR. We'll be back in a moment. Nature, leaves crunching below your feet, the smell of fresh dew on your neighbor's shrubs. As a youth, I would spend most of my time in the woods, hiding from the gang of neighborhood kids who would tease me for being a bastard child. And if I got deep enough into the forest, their voices would disappear, giving way to the serene sound of birdsong. Oh, how I long for those days. Anyway, the way we enjoy nature is about to change, and it's all thanks to a new app that's looking to make the great outdoors a little greater. OPR technology correspondent Alan Potts is here to tell us all about it. Thanks for joining us, Alan.
Thanks for having me, Leslie.
So tell me, what is this app all about?
Well, Leslie, have you ever been out on the trail and stumbled across an interesting-looking corpse and thought, wow, I wonder how that guy died?
Oh, all the time. Just this morning I saw a body with a contorted leg during my morning trail run, and I had no idea what happened to the guy.
Well, there's finally an app that seeks to answer that exact question. It's called Corpse Match, and it allows anyone from hikers to runners to families looking to get outside the city for a day to categorize all the dead bodies they encounter on the trail. I'll let Peter Nilsson, the lead developer, walk you through how it works.
When hikers encounter a dead body during one of their treks, they can whip out their phone, open up the app, and take a photo of it. Then, using state-of-the-art visual recognition software, Corpse Match will compare that photo with a database of over 300,000 corpses in order to identify how exactly the person in question died, whether they were, say, strangled by a serial killer or just a weird tree branch.
Wow, well that does sound neat. I'll have to download this before I chaperone my stepson's Cub Scout trip next month. But just how accurate is the service?
Over 99%. It's incredible. You can even snap a photo of part of a corpse, say, for example, a disembodied arm, and it'll tell you everything about the body from which it came, including how long it's been decomposing and whether it was a quick and painless death or one with drawn-out suffering.
That's amazing. Now, of course, an app like this is fun for the outdoorsy types, but what about the casual walker? Why should they download it?
Well, I'll let Peter talk you through that.
The main thing we wanted to do with Corpse Match was democratize body identification. Before Corpse Match, most people felt like classifying cadavers was a thing only certain specialists could do. You don't have to have a PhD in forensic science to determine if the dead person you encounter on your morning hike was attacked by a bear or shot in the head by a stray bullet from a nearby hunter.
So, Corpse Match strives for accessibility.
Not just accessibility, but fun. At the end of the day, it's also a social media app. That's why we've included different achievements you can unlock and share as you identify more and more corpses. You can compare your progress with other users, as well as geotagging, so you can pin all the corpses you found and meet up with fellow outdoors or cadaver fanatics.
Now, Alan, this all sounds quite appealing, but did you manage to see the app in action?
I did. Corpse Match recently sponsored a big group hike in the Rockies to promote its launch. I tagged along with a group of outdoor enthusiasts trying it out, and let's just say they couldn't get enough of it.
Whoa. It's saying this one is a park ranger who got crushed by a rock slide. Amazing.
Oh, look. This one is a hitchhiker who isn't native to this area. That's crazy.
Wow. These fingers are from some teenagers who came here to do drugs, but these vital organs are from one of the local Doomsday cult members who got together to murder the teenagers and sacrifice one of their own. That's so awesome.
Oh man, I can practically smell the rotting flesh cutting through that crisp mountain air. So, Alan, how is the app doing metrics-wise? Should we be keeping our eyes out for an IPO?
Well, so far so good, Leslie. Their first quarter saw over 100,000 unique downloads, and Peter also revealed to me that they're planning on expanding its capabilities within the next few months. They'll be adding a function where you can report the corpses you find to the police in exchange for a cash reward, and they'll also be releasing a premium version of the app that will let you listen to the noises each hiker made when they died, with the option to save and download the audio files of their desperate cries for help in their final moments.
That's it. I gotta download this thing as soon as I'm able to remove that bug on my phone that I got from streaming Trolls World Tour on a Russian website. Well, thanks for the report, Alan.
My pleasure.
That's OPR's Alan Potts. Back in a moment. Give me your tired, your poor, your unsubstantiated reports with unverified sources yearning to be read. For here at The Topical, all news is welcome, especially when it's a story about someone who is dead. Here's what else you need to know today. The United States Post Office continues to struggle financially, announcing today they may be forced to cut down their singing telegram service to just 2 days a week. USPS officials additionally noted that they would no longer be able to offer mariachi or a cappella options with the pared-down service, and that all singing telegrams would now just be delivered by your usual mail carrier. And an alarming new report out today has scientists concerned about a beloved insect. The nation's top entomologists have found that firefly populations are being severely threatened by invasive and predatory wide-eyed Midwestern children who like to frolic through fields with mason jars. Someone's got to figure out a way to take those kids out before it's too late. And finally, some helpful news to combat our collectively declining mental health. A new study today has found that repeatedly bashing your head against a wall and repeating stupid, stupid, stupid is the best way to reduce anxiety. Here, try it with me. Stupid, stupid, stupid. What's the matter with you? Why did you ask Marcy all those stupid questions? She hates you. You can't do anything right, and everyone notices, and that's why they can't stand you. You're pathetic, and you'll never be normal. Maybe I'm just not doing it right. Well, at least drinking myself to sleep hasn't failed me yet. Probably just gonna keep doing that. And that's it for The Topical today. I'm Leslie Price. The news doesn't stop just because you've lost interest in it, so why not regain that childlike sense of rage and despair by visiting theonion.com for more on all the day's top stories. And don't forget to tune into tomorrow's episode where we'll sit down with a free speech advocate who says he's the only one with the courage to stand up to the rich and powerful and tell them that they're right about everything. Just as the First Amendment intended, my good man. You won't want to miss it. We'll see you next time. The news doesn't stop just because this YouTube video has. For even more on all the worst things happening in the world right now, listen and subscribe to The Topical on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, you insatiable news freaks.